Hi there, I'm Stacy, the mixed media encaustic artist behind Studio Stacy. For the past 15 weeks or so, I have been painting your view, pictures that you have sent in to me. And I completed that project about 2 weeks ago. So what happens when you complete 100 days of painting? Well, you take a little break. And so I'm just catching all of you up. If you are new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Here is what the past 2 weeks looked like for myself, Studio Stacy.
We packed up our little camper and headed south through the back roads of Pennsylvania and Maryland. And we came across a beautiful campground called Swallow Falls. It's just a gorgeous area. Highly recommend it. And as a small side note, please don't use the fire pits as your own trash receptacle. That just makes the next person have to clean up your trash. We spent much of the afternoon exploring the area, and you can take, I believe it's called the Canyon Loop Trail, to see some amazing waterfalls. 3 waterfalls. The Tolliver Waterfalls, Swallow Falls, and then Muddy Creek Waterfall, which is the highest in Maryland. Woke up early the next morning and hit the road, headed south once again. Made it to the beautiful state of Virginia, to a wonderful national park, where I met up with some of my favorite people on earth that I have not seen in about a year.
Hello from Shenandoah. It's gorgeous.
We did quite a bit of hiking and exploring this beautiful national park, had a lot of laughs, did a lot of relaxing. And while the weather wasn't perfect, it was a tad bit chilly. There's nobody I'd rather spend my chilly, rainy days with than these guys. It was a wonderful, magical, well overdue visit. Headed back out on the road again, this time heading north to the wonderful state park in West Virginia called Cooper's Rock.
Hey all, welcome to the Henry Clay Iron Furnace.
Once again, we did some more hiking and exploring in this beautiful area. If you're ever in the area of West Virginia, I highly recommend Cooper's Rock. Headed back home, north again, feeling very blessed that we were able to take this little road trip.
Good morning. I have the wax turned on and kind of easing back into painting after not been painting for about a week or so. So I'm actually going to paint some paintings that I've already started, which is a good tip if you're an artist, to leave some unfinished paintings ready to be finished for when you get back from your break or vacation or whatever. And that way you have something to just go ahead and dive right on into, and it's not a blank canvas. You kind of have somewhat a little bit of a plan of what you're doing. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'll show you the paintings. And as I said a couple weeks ago now, I think it was, I am going to be working on some larger paintings. So hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of this in the video, but we'll see. Okay, let's get painting.
Before I can start painting, I have to get this huge mess cleaned up in the studio.
So there are some pros and cons to this huge glass work table. The pros are it's big and it is really easy to clean. I simply take a razor blade and scrape off any wax drips or things like that. And if even with acrylic paint that I used to paint with, it comes off really easily just with the razor blade. Any tough areas I can just spritz with a little water and wipe with the paper towel. Really easy to clean. The cons are that it does scratch. I have to try really hard to scratch it, but I've been able to scratch it. And also sometimes dirt will sink underneath the glass in some of the edges and the crevices. And there's not really any easy way to get the glass back up off of here, even though it's not glued down. It's really heavy and it's a large piece of glass. So pros and cons.
Almost ready to start painting. First, I just am going to clear these black mats out of the way. These paintings are really big, and the black mats are not going to be underneath them at all, so no need for them to be on the table. Up next, I'm just going to wipe off the paintings just to make sure there's not any extra dust or debris because they have been sitting for a little while. And then I am just warming the surface up with the torch, getting ready to apply the encaustic paint. The paint has been heating up on the griddle and now it's in liquid form, all ready to go. So I am just going to be applying that to the white areas to the sky. And I know I'm covering up a lot of those other paint layers underneath, but I'm not worried about that. Encaustic painting to me is all about the layering. And I'm not covering up everything. You can still see a lot of those under layers poking through, and I think it just adds a lot of depth to each and every single painting. The more layers to me, the better. Because these are such large paintings, I know you can't see the entire griddle like you can in a lot of my other videos. So I asked my husband to come in and do a quick little video. And here you'll see me carrying these metal tins that have the encaustic paint in them over to the paintings. I like to do this especially with large paintings so that the wax stays warm, first of all, and that I'm not taking my brush and dripping it across the rest of the painting and or any of the glass surface, because why waste the wax and why get a big blob of paint on the painting only to have to scrape it away. And if any of you are interested in a studio assistant position that doesn't pay well, I would love to have a video person come in and just video me every time I'm painting. Joking, maybe not joking. I feel like I've been gabbing through most of this painting video, so I'm going to just let you sit back, enjoy some music, and the rest of this little painting process.
Alright guys, it is now the next day, and it is actually in the middle of the afternoon in the next day. I had a bunch of computer work I had to get done this morning, and now it's rather dark and gloomy out. So I'm hoping that the lighting in here isn't horrible, but I thought I'd flip the camera around, show you where I left off, and then keep going on this painting. I have about a couple hours to work on it, so I don't know if I will get it completely done or not, but time will tell. Okay, here is where I have left off, and the power is now flickering. So hopefully we don't lose power, but at any rate, here's where I left off. I have the water, I think, pretty much done. Added the shellac in, and there's the other panel. I don't know if you can hear that rain, but it is really coming down. And then here is the sky area. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the sky as is or if I'm going to tone it down a bit. I'll try to zoom out so you can, maybe that's a little bit better idea of the two. But yeah, let's get to working on it.
First, let me apologize for the poor lighting that is going to be in parts of this video. Lots of sun and clouds are moving through the area, and so I'm going to get a lot of shadows on this. But anyways, back to the painting. I am just adding in a bunch of little details to this mountain area, and you will see I kind of cover a lot of that up like I did with the sky area. But again, the beauty of encaustic is the layering process and all of that shading and colors underneath. If you put kind of more translucent colors on top, they really still shine through. And it just, again, adds a lot of depth to the painting.
Good morning. The sun is out and I'm getting ready to paint some more on this painting. Hopefully gonna be able to get this done today, but we'll see. So wax is heating up, got my torch in hand, and let's get painting.
Just mixing up some greens on my griddle here, and you'll see I bring out a stick, if you will, of that clear encaustic medium. That's what that is. And that's just, again, making that layer more translucent. And when I use store-bought encaustic paints, they really go a lot farther, and you can really add quite a bit of that clear medium to them. And again, just using a small, teeny tiny paintbrush to add in a lot of little final details. This one is almost done.
All right, I do believe these are done. Yay! Get you a couple close-ups here. Some of the details and texture. I still have to take the tape off. But other than that, scrolling down to see some of that water area, trying to keep the camera in focus. So yeah, I think these are done. Just have to take the tape off. Thanks so much for coming along as we took a small break and traveled, and then also for coming along on this painting adventure. If you enjoyed the video and wouldn't mind doing so, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a great big thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed and would consider doing so, I would also so much appreciate that. If you are subscribed but aren't getting notified, click that little bell down there and that will notify you every time I release a new video, which is usually on Tuesdays. Again, thanks so much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the video and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.